What is our next step? Our main important step is to transfer your employee ID from first controller to the first view to the second view, I can say. So how to do this? So here the router has a capability, whenever the router is navigating to a particular view, the router got the capability to navigate along with primary keys. The router can carry the primary keys along with it to the other view. And in the other controller, in the view 2 controller, there is a mechanism to receive that particular primary key. Okay. So now you will understand about this entire process of transferring the primary key from one controller to the other controller. In simple words, we say like transferring these primary keys from one view to the other view. Okay. So not only primary keys, you can also transfer other data, but mainly in real time, other data is not useful. So we always transfer primary key only. Okay. Now let us see the process. So before I start this process, I will give you an example. So let's say my friend is coming from Vijayawada. I belongs to Vijayawada. So let's say he's coming from Vijayawada to Hyderabad today night. And my mom is waiting for someone who goes to, who can go to Hyderabad so that she can hand over maybe some food items to me. Okay. So what my friend will do, so he will carry that particular, whatever the food item or sweets, whatever, and he will travel to Hyderabad. And I will collect that particular sweet box from him. Isn't it? That is what exactly, right? So here also the router is navigating from view 1 to the view 2. Router is navigating from view 1 to view 2. Now this particular router can also take the sweet box. So what is that sweet box? Primary key. So how you need to pass this sweet box to this router? You need to put a comma and you need to send this particular primary key in a simple JSON syntax, simple JSON data syntax. So what is the JSON data syntax? Curly braces open, curly braces close, and name and value pair. Okay, you know the JSON syntax, right? So what is the JSON syntax? So open braces, closing braces, and in between you need to give some name and its value. So I will give the name as key and the value as, so I know my value, employee ID, so I will give the, so left hand side one is called name of the parameter, right hand side one is called value of the parameter. And immediately, so whatever the name that you have mentioned here, copy the name, go to your manifest.json, and in the pattern you need to write slash and the same parameter name. So this is mandatory, guys. So if you do not keep this particular parameter name, then your router will not allow, the router will not allow you to carry this particular primary key from view 1 to the view 2. So remember, whenever you want to transfer any primary key from one view to the other view, then you need to pass the primary key anyway, and you need to inform that you are passing this particular parameter with the name key. So this is called name of the parameter. So this you need to register here by saying that you are passing a parameter to the second view whose name is key. Okay. Right, now go to the view 1 controller. That's all. This is what we need to do. So now the view 1, from the view 1, this primary key will be transferred to the view 2. So now go to the view 2 controller. My friend has reached Hyderabad. Now what I need to do? I need to go and collect my sweet box. So this collection will happen using onInit function and onPattern matched. I will tell you. So let me write the code and then I will explain. So here, so we write one statement, this dot get owner component dot get router. So to the get router we will ask get route. So which route? This second route dot attach pattern matched, and within this round brackets, so we'll call another function called this dot on pattern matched. So within this on pattern matched function, we will get our primary key within this standard object called O-event. Okay, so how to collect the primary key? I will write the code in the debug mode, so do not worry on this. But first, understand the meaning of this particular statement. So this particular statement should be written in the onInit function because this statement should get executed automatically. So whenever you want a statement to get executed automatically, then that particular statement must be present in the onInit function, because onInit is on initialization of the view. So this function gets executed automatically whenever the view gets loaded. Okay, so whenever the view getting loaded, automatically onInit function gets executed. You don't need to call this function explicitly. Okay, right. Now let us try to understand the meaning of this statement. Let me just elaborate this. Yeah. This dot get owner component means component.js. Component.js dot get router means get me the router. Yeah, now you got the router. To the router, you are telling get me second route information. Get me second route information. So here, this is the second route information. This is the second route. Is this not the second route information? Yes, this is the second route information. Now, after getting the second route information, there is a function called attach pattern matched is the statement. Now, what is this attach pattern match? Why this particular statement is required? Okay. Now, let me compare this again with the example. In our old movies, maybe gangster kind of movies, one party from one person, so there is a deal to exchange a cash of 1 crore rupees. Okay, so let's assume 1 crore rupees has to be exchanged. Now, from the one party, so one person will take a briefcase and he will come to some common point, and from the other party who has to receive this money, he will also come to the same spot. Do you think he will hand over the 1 crore rupees immediately after seeing the person, or what they do? Anybody who watched the old movies, or can anybody guess what exactly happens before he hand over that suitcase to him?
There will be some code.
Exactly. He will ask, tell me the secret key, right? Tell me the secret key. So if the secret key is matching, then only he will give the briefcase to him. Otherwise, he will not give the briefcase to him, right? So that is what exactly happening here. So what is the guarantee that this is view 2? We need to cross check, right? So this particular router is getting the second route information only. So it is getting the key. The key is ABCD or XYZ, whatever the key is there, he will check in the slip, right? He will take one paper and, both the parties, maybe the first party also, what is the guarantee that he will remember the key? So he will write the key in one paper, and whatever the other person tell, so that particular key, he will cross-check with the key that he has in his paper, right? So the router is getting the second route information. So this is the second route information. and checking, are you really landed in the second view or any other view? So how he is checking? He is checking by adding attach pattern matched. What is attach pattern matched? Attach pattern matched means if you really land up in the second view, what is the pattern of the second view? So you will have in the URL as /second view, correct? What is the pattern of second view? For the first view, you will not have any pattern, but for the second view, you will have the pattern called second view. So this particular statement is checking whether you really landed in the second view or not. How it is checking? By checking the pattern. Each and every web page has a unique pattern. Each and every web page has a unique URL pattern. So it is cross-checking whether that pattern is matching or not. Pattern will match when the pattern will match only when you will really land up in the second view. Let's say you landed up in the third view, right? But whose route information I got? I got second view's route information. Where you landed up in the third view. Does the pattern match? No. Second view's pattern is second view. Third view's pattern is maybe whatever I keep for the third view, that is its pattern. So it is not matching. So when it is not matching, it won't call this function. If it is matching, then only it will call this function and hand over that briefcase into this function's OEvent parameter. Okay, right. So let me remove this. And I will keep a debug point inside on pattern matched, and we will see how to receive that primary key from this OEvent parameter. So let's go to the sources. This controller. So as of now, only view1 controller got loaded. So you need to go once and come back. Now view2 controller also get loaded. Now keep the debug points. Okay, so I want my view2 controller also to be loaded, right? So first time you need to just shuffle to the second view and come back so that view2 also gets loaded. So view2 controller is ready for the debugging. Now you again navigate to the second view by clicking some row. I'm clicking Anil. Yeah, so I'm in the on pattern matched. So I'm in the on pattern matched because I'm going to second view only. Okay. Right, now this OEvent is something which will hold your primary key. So we need to see where is my primary key. So this is where exactly is the primary key. So primary key is securely kept under a OEvent parameter. So how to get this primary key from this hierarchy? So here we need to use OEvent dot get parameter. Okay, so we need to say under the OEvent, whenever there is something called yum parameters. So if you find yum parameters, then on the OEvent we need to write a function called get parameter. Remember that. Okay, so under the yum parameter means get parameter. Okay, like that you can understand. Now under the get parameter, you need to write round brackets, and here whatever the underlying hierarchy, whatever is there, you need to copy this arguments and paste it under it, arguments. Okay, so OEvent dot get parameter name is arguments. Now under the arguments you have this same primary key that you have sent from view1 to the view2. Now I need this value. So how can I get this value? This is simple JSON object, right? So you know that in a JSON, if you want this value, you need to call the name, left hand side one. So I will write OEvent.getParameter arguments dot key. That's all. OEvent.getParameter is a JSON object. Now JSON dot key. So when I say key, it gives its value. So now copy this statement and write in your logic. Now I got my employee ID. I got my employee. One second. Guys. Yeah. So now we got this employee ID. Once you have the employee ID in your hand, what are you waiting for? You no need to wait anymore. Let's do the bind element. So go to the view to copy this simple form ID, and you can do the same statement. This, so in the view1 controller, I have already written this statement. Copy this, paste it here. Simple form dot bind element. This is not required in the view1, so remove it. And now let us test this application. Yeah, it's already showing. Yeah. So Amit's data, Anil data, Babji's data. Okay. So instead of the simple form, so I did the binding to the simple form. You can also bind this to the entire view instead of the simple form. So I can say this dot get view. To the entire view also you can do the bind element, so that anyway simple form is part of the view. So you will even this will work. So click this. So this is working. Now finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this second page with a object header and icon tab bar layout. Actually this should be normally given as a homework to you. In every batch I give this as a homework to the people, but anyway I will just complete it. You know object header layout, you know icon tab bar layout. If you do not know, just go and watch the videos once again if you forget. Okay, so now I'm simply going to use my object header layout, icon tab bar layout. In the icon tab bar I will keep only one tab as of now because we completed till only the single tab. So let's do it. So in the view 2 I'm going to remove the simple form or comment the simple form, and I will use my object header layout. Object header. So you know all the properties of the object header, right? So title, now bind this title with the name. Number, so bind this number with the salary. Number unit. As of now I'm hard coding with INR. Inside the object there is a subpart called attributes. So this is already you know object attribute. Text equal to, so give some title as employee ID and text bind to employee ID. Now copy this object attribute, paste, and let's display maybe the designation as well, and bind it to designate. And there is one more subpart which is called status. Now inside the status we need to display the object status. So the text as status, bind it to the status format. My object header is over. I'm going to take the icon tab bar now. Icon tab bar. Icon tab bar has a subpart called items, and inside the items I'm going to put my icon tab filter. So it is nothing but my first tab. Inside this tab I'm going to keep my simple form, and I will keep the icon for this tab as SAP-icon information tab. So that's all. Now let's have a look at okay. So I just did nothing. I used the previous already learned concepts. Now you can see this is Amit, and this is your simple form. Now go back. So click on Anil and you can see Anil data. So this is your simple form. So go back Babji and you can see your data. Got it? So now your homework is keep all the fields here. So this is only employee ID, name, designation, but keep skill, status, everything. All the values I want here. Okay. So that's all, my dear friends. So this is all about the read operation end to end. So in today's class, we learned the read operation end to end. So normally, so generally what happens is people separate the OData classes separately in other training institutes. So because of that, you will never ever understand the connection between the backend and the front end. Okay. See, if you observe today, first 30 minutes we did the backend, and the next 30 minutes we did the front end. So because of this, you have a clear-cut idea. So which backend development will be used in which part of the front end. Okay. So that is why the backend and front end classes should be always go hand in hand. Okay. So fine, guys. So that's all for today. I think if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave for today.